Hello. Hi, this is Cynthia Sue Larson with RealityShifters.com, and I'm here to talk to you today about quantum jumping and beginner's luck. So, how do these two subjects go together, you might be wondering. Well, the idea with quantum jumping is that you can select between a number of infinite possible parallel worlds. And what you're doing is choosing what result you're focusing on with your head, your heart, your gut, the fullness of your being. And based on this total integral alignment with what you're zooming in on and what you're selecting, what's possible for you, that's pretty much where you're ending up. This is a concept that is well known to athletes, especially those that compete professionally or in the Olympics, that kind of thing, because the only way to really succeed is to keep one's purpose and one's point of view completely, totally focused on the desired outcome. And when we do that, we can actually make a leap to something pretty amazing. And the reason I mentioned beginner's luck, which may seem just the opposite of someone who's a professional athlete or an Olympic gold medalist, actually the two go together, because most of us are familiar with the concept of beginner's luck, that somebody who is just starting out, who's never done something before, and usually it's something pretty complicated, kind of involved. It could be something such as a story that I have from my personal life when my daughter at age 9 tried to compete at the Scottish Highland Games, and she was in the children's division back when they did this. At the age of 9, she was tossing something the size of a telephone pole, and what this is, it's called a caber toss. She was instructed how to do it, and she listened carefully. She practiced with a little plastic fork or something like that just to demonstrate what it feels like to heft something as big as a telephone pole, launch it up in the air and throw it end over end so it lines up perfectly straight ahead from the person doing the toss. So she did that. She had a perfect 12 o'clock landing. The crowd cheered, and only then, I think, did she fully realize that that's not something that's considered to be possible on one's first attempt. In fact, it hardly ever happens. This is a perfect example of beginner's luck, and the reason I'm mentioning it today is because you may think, well, that's great for beginners. They can get there. What about me? I'm not a beginner at my job. I'm not a beginner in life. How do I get the benefit of beginner's luck when I'm selecting a reality for myself? And the way we do it, the way you harness the power of the beginner mindset, is really to access the beginner's mind. And the way we do that is through meditation, through focus, and it's a process which you can enter, and you can go through a meditation such as, I've got a meditation CD, or a healing meditations, which I find very relaxing and wonderful for this purpose. But anything that you do that's meditative is going to work for you, as long as you're getting to a place where you're no longer focusing on all the things that you know, quote unquote, know to be true or difficult or challenging about your situation. So these things that you know, that experts tend to know, are actually blockages for you to succeed. So when something is in your mind and you think, well, I can't do this because I'm afraid of such and such happening, and there's a difference between having an authentic, clear sense of possible danger. Of course, it's good to have those, but when we hold ourselves back based on some kind of irrational fear, just the thought that, well, probably I won't succeed. We know the statistics, most new businesses fail, blah, blah, blah. We've all heard these sorts of things. If you move out of that failure mindset and instead choose to focus on what you need for success, what does success look like every step of the way? If you are successful at what you're doing, where would you be today? What would you be doing? And start living that way. You can play things through in your mind, such as when my daughter did that successful caber toss. You can do anything that helps you get to that state of success mentally, feeling it in your heart and knowing it's true all the way down to your gut. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today. And of course, my book Reality Shifts also gives examples of some amazing things. If you're thinking, well, that sounds great for some people, I recommend taking a look at some of the stories that are in this book, because then you can recognize if these kinds of things, if reality can shift in ways that are just so amazing that, a coin might bend, or we might be able to experience a dead cat being back alive again, cuts and injuries instantaneously healing, that sort of thing, that's a really good experience for your mind to sort of open that up and get back to that beginner's mind, because this is a Zen state of mind that I'm talking about. Beginner's mind is the very essence of getting back to that original face, that feeling of who you were before you were born. And that's something that is completely separate from all the labels and all of the boxes that you might have found yourself placed in over the years. But it's really not who you are. And so when you free yourself back up again, then you can be creative, you can be enthusiastic, you can find a sense of passion, purpose, and inspiration that you might have thought has been dead or gone since you were a child. Because the beginner's mindset is very much like discovering that inner child. It's just waiting to come back out. And there's a quote that I mentioned this month. I've always got a companion blog that goes along with these videos. I hope you get a chance to read it. But I'm going to read you the quote because I love it. It says, "The person who says something is impossible should not interrupt the person who is doing it." And I think I'd like to leave you with that quote as you imagine just how good can it get when you employ beginner's mind to make a quantum jump into a reality that you would most enjoy. Until next time, this is Cynthia Sue Larson with RealityShifters.com.